Here we have a session with Gabby, who's 34 years old. She's engaged and in the midst of planning her wedding with her fiance, George. She's experiencing some apprehensiveness and nerves about the wedding, as well as frustration from not being able to communicate her feelings fully and effectively with her fiance without causing a fight between them. Gabby has been in for 2 sessions so far, in which we've gathered that she grew up with divorced parents and has been previously engaged before, but it didn't work out. She seemed very closed off at first and would not go into detail on any issue. She was not able to recognize or express what was actually bothering her at first, but is now starting to piece things together. We discussed that some of these current feelings may stem from her past and may be causing a sense of distrust and unsureness. We also discussed the pressure she seems to be feeling to get married and where it seems to be coming from. She did express some concern about her age, being a little older, and also said that she felt a lot of pressure coming from George and his family. She felt a little rushed in taking this big step, and now is just trying to cope and figure out if it is just nerves or if it isn't right to go through with the wedding. We found that Gabby does not want a big wedding, and she just wants to keep it simple. She seems to be holding back, possibly due to underlying thoughts that this engagement will not work out for her either. However, George seems to want much more for their special day and is putting a lot of time and effort into it. With all this time and effort, there hasn't really been much time for Gabby and George to just talk or just relax. This is causing a lot of tension between them and adding to Gabby's negative feelings about the wedding. In order to move towards being able to communicate more effectively, we assigned Gabby some homework between sessions. We asked that she use phrases that start with, I feel like, when arguing or expressing herself to her fiance, and leaves the conversation more open-ended and less attacking. Her body language has shown that she is frustrated and somewhat confused when she refers back to conversations and arguments with her fiance. In this session, we'll try exercises such as role-playing so that she can practice expressing her feelings directly and effectively as if it were a real scenario with George. Gabby was supposed to look at venues with George over the weekend, so in this session we'll ask how that went, we'll talk about any issues or improvements, and we'll try to get her to elaborate more on those feelings, looking at the roots of these negative emotions.
Hi Gabby, how are you?
Okay. I don't know. This weekend was like, I don't know. It was like same as usual.
So what happened this weekend?
I don't know. George and I, we went to the venue, and we're like trying to figure out, different sizes for like a big one or a small one, and we were kind of just butting heads as usual. And I don't know. I didn't really like follow what we did last time, saying like how I feel. It was kind of like just closed off as usual, and like he didn't really respond well to that.
Okay, well, did you practice any of the homework that we said we would do last week? Starting conversations with I feel like and open questions about how you feel as a person and a fiance.
I tried to. I think I did it more like when we were at home, but I was still like not being like more forward with it. And it was like more difficult when we were out in public because I was a lot more uncomfortable. So it didn't really like work that well. So
can you give me an example of when you tried to start a conversation about your feelings?
Like for when I went to the venue or just
when you're at the venue.
I don't know. He kept talking about how he wanted like a big wedding and stuff, and like a big venue, and I was like, oh, like I kind of feel like that's gonna be too much for me, like I'm gonna be like a little too uncomfortable, and he like didn't really respond that well to it. So
okay. What would make you uncomfortable about a big wedding?
I don't know. I think it's just like the pressure of it. I don't know. It just like seems like a lot, and I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be like so much expectations, and then if something goes wrong, then everyone's gonna be like judging me or like mad at me, and I don't know. I just have like a weird response to it for some reason.
And how did that make you feel when he didn't respond to you?
It makes me upset because like we're supposed to be getting married, but like we don't talk to each other like we should, and there's just like no communication, and we're just like butting heads, and like it's just not good starting off like a marriage that way, or supposed marriage.
So we're gonna do a little bit of role playing. I'm gonna be George, and I want you to be you, and we're gonna talk about the venue and how, you know, you want a smaller venue and he wants a bigger one, so we're gonna try and have a communication where you both can find a happy medium to that.
Okay.
So I'll be George, you be you.
Okay.
So, alright, so we're walking into a big venue, right? It's gonna be a huge, I don't know, church that seats 500 people.
Okay.
So, Gabby, you know what? I really love this church. My parents got married here. This is exactly what we want. It's beautiful. I can invite all my friends from work, all my friends from college. I think this would just be the place for us.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I'd be like too comfortable or something like that.
Well, do you want, we can find another church, but I think 500 people would just be perfect for us. You have a big family, I have a big family, I have friends, I have work friends. I just think that this would be perfect.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just because like we have that many people, like doesn't mean that we need all of them there. I don't know.
But I want them there. I don't want to, how can I tell some people no?
Yeah, I mean, but it's gonna seem like a lot of pressure. So, I don't know. I want to be like a bit more comfortable with it, because it's just supposed to be between us, you know.
All right, well, this is what I really want, and we'll just talk about it later, but I'll put a deposit down.
Okay, well, I don't know. That's not really what I want. Maybe we could do something like in the middle, or just talk about it more. Maybe not like make such a quick decision now.
Okay. So, every time you say, I don't know, that's not a direct answer. You know, our whole thing here is to be talking about your feelings and how to express yourself, but if you say, I don't know, he can, or anyone can interpret that in different ways.
Yeah.
So I want you to be more direct.
Okay.
You know, yes, no, or, you know, that's not what I want. I want you to talk exactly how you feel. Do not beat around the bush, because then that's why you have communication issues.
Yeah.
So, let's try that again.
Okay.
You want a smaller wedding. You know, 500 people you have expressed to me is too much. So let's try and, you know, squash the bug while we're at it.
Okay.
Okay, so you're walking into the same church, 500 people. I'm gonna be George, you be you.
Okay.
All right, Gabby, this is my church. Everyone I know loves this place. My parents have been here. I can invite golf friends, college friends, everyone I know. I think this is perfect for us. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it's not perfect. It's not really something that I want. I think it's gonna be too much. I think it should just be with our like immediate friends and family. So, yeah.
Okay. How many people were you thinking?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe like 50 or 100 people. That seems comfortable for me, but I think probably around there is what I want.
All right, Gabby, you know what? I have a lot of people to invite. I don't know how I'm going to tell people no. Who do you suggest that I tell people no? I mean, I have college friends, family. What can I do?
I mean, just invite the people that are like most important to you. I don't think like 500 people. You're gonna be close to all of them like that. So I would just really do like your family, your like closest friends that you really hang out with, and just keep it like small and simple.
Okay, you know what? Why don't we go home, look down a list, and I could try and get it to 200 people.
Okay, that sounds good.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Yeah, it just makes me like uncomfortable, cause I don't know. It's hard just like saying what I want, and just like how I feel. Like it's weird saying that. Like I even said it like a couple times. Like I don't know. So it's just like a habit now.
So why do you feel more comfortable talking to me like that rather than George?
I don't know. I think some of it, like what we've been talking about, like we've talked about some of like my family stuff in earlier sessions, and I think a lot of it is from like the trauma I had growing up, like when my dad like left us, like my parents got divorced, and it just like freaks me out. It makes me feel like people are just gonna like abandon me, and that like people don't care. And it's just like scary opening up to someone that like you're close to, or that you want to be close to.
I understand. In your past sessions, we have talked about the engagement that you had when you were 24.
Yeah.
I know you were very uncomfortable. I was wondering if you were able to open up about that this time.
Yeah, I mean, I got engaged at such a young age. Like, I was looking to go to grad school. He was doing a bunch of stuff. Like, it was already stressful as it was, and I didn't like really think enough about it. It just kind of happened on a whim. We weren't even really dating for that long, and it all just like happened so fast. And then I just realized like that wasn't what I want, and I just like straight up left. Like we didn't even get to the point of like the wedding. I just like disappeared, because I couldn't go through with it. I didn't feel comfortable.
What didn't you feel comfortable about?
I don't know. I think it's the same thing with my family. I think it's just being like abandoned. Just even like the possible fact of like us getting divorced. Like I don't want to have to go through that. Or even like if we have kids, then we get divorced and like then they have to go through the same thing that I did, and I don't want that for anyone. So I think it's that.
How old were you when your parents were divorced? Did you say 12 it was?
I was 12. Yeah, I was like pretty young.
So it's a hard age. So you're like right around, middle school.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say that affected you now? Do you see any, correlations between the two?
Yeah, I think it's still like because it happened at such a young age, it like kind of still keeps me at that maturity level sometimes where like I can't communicate, and then when I can't communicate properly, then I just get frustrated, and like that's why we butt heads. So I think that it just messes up like all of my communications with like anyone that I have, or just being, like you said, like straightforward on what I want.
Could you tell me more about your dad when he left? What was the relationship like after?
It was completely different. Like before they got divorced, my dad and I were so close. Like we used to hang out all the time. Like we liked the same stuff. I was like really into sports. My mom wasn't, but my dad was, and then he just wasn't there anymore. Like I didn't have him, like he wasn't able to come to my games anymore. Like he just completely left the state. Like he couldn't even be like around us, or just again like in the same state. And it was just like I completely lost my dad and like my support line, and it was like bad. Yeah, I think it was like one of the worst things that like I had to go through.
All right, so it seems like you are scared because of your past. Your dad left you young. You didn't have that close of a relationship with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like even with your ex-fiance, that you had problems opening up and accepting, during grad school is a hard time, I'm sure. You were looking for some support from someone else, and you just were pretty closed off. So that's what it seems like with George. You know, I understand you don't want a big wedding, but, you know, saying I don't know and letting him take charge doesn't really, you know, you're not putting your voice out there, which is what we want. And I am seeing some closed off, you know, reserved personality traits from you. And I mean, that's why you're here, because you are a little closed off.
Yeah.
So, you know, we really want you to open up and accept the love. I mean, you are, you know, getting engaged for the second time, and I'm sure if you've made it this far, you really do love him, and he loves you.
Yeah.
So, what I want to work on is this role playing. I want you to picture how we did it. You know, George seems like he's pretty opening from our past sessions, and, you know, he really does care for you.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's going to be pretty open. I'm sure if you just say something, even if it's bad, you know, at least you put your foot out there. And that's what we want. We want some kind of emotions. Even if it's as small as, you know, where do you want to go to dinner tonight? Pick a place.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, and let him pick.
Yeah.
Because you need to put some little control into your, you know, life. So, what I want to work for next time is for you to bring in your fiance.
Okay.
Okay? Let's talk to him. You know, he seems a very nice guy. I'm sure he'll be pretty open to it, but I want you to understand that you need to put your foot down forward. We don't want you to be closed off, because I know you care about George. You've expressed to me all throughout the sessions that you care.
Yeah.
So, you know, you want to make this work.
Yeah.
So let's be open, bring in George next time, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right.
To recap this session, Gabby has been coming to counseling sessions with issues related to her fiancé, George. The couple is experiencing some frustrations regarding wedding venues and the amount of people that they both want to attend the wedding. Gabby is experiencing doubts and a sense of distance in her relationship. To try to help the situation, the counselor gave Gabby some homework of starting conversations using I will and I feel to progress the process of finding a solution to their differences. Along with the homework, the counselor engages in role-playing to help Gabby with her feelings and her current situation regarding her fiancé. The counselor demonstrates micro skills to help progress conversation. Some of the micro skills that the counselor uses in the clip from the session include questioning, responding, noting, and reflecting. Along with these skills, the counselor really demonstrates a sense of comfort and openness with her body language and her eye contact. Body language and eye contact, along with the micro skills being used, really create a sense of comfort and understanding for the client. With everything being done inside and outside the session, Gabby should have a clearer mind to help make her wedding planning go much smoother down the road.